Gordon Ramsay is known for being one in-your-face chef, but behind all that bluster is a few things that he would rather keep hidden. Most of his shows concentrate on the slip-ups and personal failings of others, but Ramsay's own life and even his food hasn't always been perfect. We'll show you some things that Ramsay would prefer to keep quiet.
Oh, why hey there folks! Do you love watching our videos, but are you looking for a more ad-free browsing experience? Take your video viewing to the next level and sign up for the Premium Network. You'll get the first peek at the newest content from not only the richest, but Screen Rant, The Taco, The Sportster, The Things, and many more. Thousands of your favorite videos in one place is a no-brainer. Click here to be the first in line for the Premium.
Ramsay may prefer his steaks rare, but if you like your videos plentiful, we recommend hitting that subscribe button and then joining our notification squad. Pre-prepared meals. If you're familiar with Ramsay's body of work, you probably know that one of the things he frequently chastises people about is not having fresh food. One of the best parts of any Kitchen Nightmares episode is when Ramsay inspects the restaurant's food supply and works himself up into a frenzy at the amount of food that is either frozen or way past its expiration date. Because of this, many people were shocked when it came out that one of his restaurants used pre-packaged food. Foxtrot Oscar in Chelsea, West London, and 3 of his gastropubs in London were busted using pre-prepared food that was simply heated up and served with a price tag inflated 586%. However, Ramsay was quick to defend his restaurants and claims that this is standard practice in the restaurant industry. According to the chef, he operates a kitchen facility where many of the dishes that take a long time to cook are pre-made. They are then bagged up and transported to not only Ramsay's restaurants but others as well. Ramsay was quick to brush the discovery off as a no big deal, but it had many people calling him a hypocrite since he has long espoused the benefits of eating fresh food. Criminal in the family. Complaining about your in-laws is a time-honored tradition, but Chef Ramsay has more to complain about than most people do. His father-in-law, Chris Hutcheson, plotted with his sons Adam and Chris Jr. to infiltrate Ramsay's emails and learn financial details and anything else that he could use for blackmail. The chef and Hutcheson had a falling out, and Hutcheson was terminated from his position as chief executive of Gordon Ramsay Holdings Limited. Seeking vengeance, he conspired with his sons to access Ramsay's systems. Gossip-laden stories about Chef Ramsay began popping up in the tabloids after this, but Hutcheson denied this was him. After spending over $2.5 million on legal fees and damages, Hutcheson Sr. was sentenced to 6 months in prison, while his 2 co-conspirators were given 4-month prison sentences suspended for 2 years. Allegedly, Ramsay and his wife Tana declined to support the criminal charges and just want to be one big happy family again. This whole situation was a mess of family drama that played out in a very public way to the great embarrassment of everyone involved. Shark Hunter. It's not just adorable little puffins that Chef Ramsay has been in hot water for hunting. Ramsay had been a vocal opponent of shark fishing in the past, and on the show Sharkbait, he even lectured viewers about the needless slaughter of these creatures. However, evidence unearthed by his father-in-law proved that he has been on at least 2 shark fishing expeditions in Florida, which resulted in the demise of a bull shark and a hammerhead shark. At least one of the sharks was sent to a taxidermist afterwards so Ramsay could have his very own trophy. Many people who fish for sharks do so for the thrill and release the sharks afterwards, but Ramsay had to have evidence of his catch. The public quickly cried hypocrite in this scenario. Ramsay's lawyers claimed that this was a conspiracy intended to besmirch the name of their client. While this may have been true, it doesn't mean that it didn't happen, and there is photographic evidence that it did. We won't get into the ghastly details of the shark hunt, but according to witnesses, the bull shark did not go quietly. Puffin enemy number 1. Perhaps in an effort to finally start actually using fresh ingredients, Ramsay decided to catch his own food in an episode of The F Word. The problem was that rather than cultivating a vegetable patch, he decided to hunt down an adorable little puffin. The chef caught it in a net, and although the bird managed to bite Ramsay right in the face, Ramsay ultimately won the fight. He ate the bird's heart raw and later served the rest of the bird barbecued with a side of cucumber salad. Viewers were in an uproar, and the network received a barrage of complaints. Although the birds are a protected species in the UK, Ramsay claims that he had a license to hunt them, but the legality wasn't what upset viewers. To make the trip an even bigger disaster for Ramsay, he barely made it out of it alive. Now, we aren't saying a vengeance-seeking puffin had anything to do with it, just that it would have been more amusing if one did. What we do know is that during his trip, he managed to slip down a cliff and plunge into freezing cold water. His heavy clothing helped drag him underwater, and he had to abandon his boots in order to reach the surface. Spying. During the time in which Ramsay suspected his father-in-law of reading his personal emails, he hired a private investigator to follow him around. That investigator unearthed some interesting information, including the fact that Hutcheson was having a 5-year-long affair with a woman named Sarah Stewart. In a letter to his mother-in-law, Ramsay wrote that her husband was leading a complex life, which led many of his employees to have to cover for him when he left the office to run an errand during his shift. Stewart claimed that Ramsay threatened to go public with the photos taken by his private investigator and filed a lawsuit against the chef for breach of privacy. According to Stewart, Ramsay texted her son telling him to pass the message along to his mother that she should close her curtains and that he would be happy to pass the shots of her that he had to the tabloids. He then sent one of the photos to other employees of his. Stewart felt threatened by his actions and deemed them horrendous. Ramsay was so furious about his father-in-law invading his privacy that he decided to give him a taste of his own medicine. As you keep watching, you'll see that the urge to spy isn't the only thing he has in common with his father-in-law. We'll continue on with the juicy details in a moment, but for now, it's time for our trivia question. Ramsay has feuded with so many people, including other chefs. But despite claims of their rivalry, which celebrity chef claims to have no ill will against Ramsay and states that he would love to hang out with them? We'll reveal the answer at the end of this video. Soccer. You would think that having a career as impressive and distinguished as Chef Ramsay would mean not having to pad your resume to make yourself look better. Ramsay had always claimed to have been a member of the Rangers soccer team, and that his career was cut short when he injured his ligament and was released from the team. He claimed that first-team coach Archie Knox was one of the men who let him go. However, the year that he claimed this happened, Knox was the manager of Dundee. Knox himself stated that the first time he was aware Ramsay existed was when he published his first book. A photograph of Ramsay's alleged Ranger career turned out to be from a scrimmage game and not an actual match. It was claimed that Ramsay made up a soccer career in order to further his name. When confronted with the allegations that he had embellished the extent of his relationship with the Rangers, Ramsay basically stated that this happened over 2 decades ago, and therefore maybe he was simply remembering it wrong. Sure, who among us hasn't forgotten that they didn't actually play for a professional sports team? Toilet nightmare. Most celebrities have at least one arrest on their records, and Chef Ramsay is no exception. He may only deem to stay in the finest of hotels or eat at the most delicious restaurants, but apparently his standards start to slip after a couple of cocktails. Ramsay was having a night out with the guys, and things got a bit out of hand in the early morning hours. Police found Ramsay and 2 other chefs were having a bit of an issue using the bathroom properly in their drunken states. When they arrived on the scene, one man had decided that the sink would work better than a urinal and was going to the bathroom in it. Another man had clearly just urinated somewhere but had neglected to pull his pants back up and was just running around the bathroom with his pants around his ankles. As for Ramsay himself, the world-renowned chef was standing next to the urinal with his head slumped against the wall next to it. Most of us have had nights we regret, and this was definitely Ramsay's. He ended up receiving a warning from the police and was sent on his way. Overcooked steak. Despite being all too happy to slam his fist into undercooked food and scream that it's raw, to Chef Ramsay there's no bigger sin than overcooked food. When it comes to steak, he prefers his medium rare and has had harsh words for those who order their steak well done. His opinion of people who prefer their steak overcooked didn't improve when a journalist tried to ambush him during an interview. Being invited to dine at Chef Ramsay's $20 million fine dining restaurant Maze in Melbourne, Australia is an honor, but one this reporter didn't appreciate. Instead, he tried to pull one over on Ramsay. He ordered a well-done steak and decided that it had been overcooked. Instead of informing the waitstaff, he photographed the steak and ambushed Ramsay with the photos a couple of days later. Instead of apologizing that the steak wasn't done to the customer's liking, Ramsay attacked the reporter for ordering the steak well done in the first place and claimed it was impossible to tell if it was overdone based on some photos. He was clearly not only angry but resentful of being put in such a situation. After a few choice insults, he angrily stormed out of the interview. Hair transplant. We mentioned earlier that Ramsay's estranged father-in-law, Chris Hutcheson, was imprisoned for accessing Ramsay's emails and allegedly feeding information to tabloids. Well, one story that coincidentally popped up after that debacle was that Chef Ramsay has had hair implants. He has admitted to having filler injected into his face in order to fill in a deep groove, but adamantly denies having hair transplants. Not only that, but he's offered up some truly implausible explanations for the changes in his appearance. In 2011, he was spotted with a puffy face and a surgical cap, but explained that he had just suffered an allergic reaction to horses, causing the puffiness in his face. The strange way his hair looked, oh, he just had gasoline spilled on his head while filming a television show. That's all much more likely than having some work done on your hairline. It's alleged that he underwent a follicular unit extraction, which involves having hair painstakingly extracted from a donor area one at a time and then transplanted onto the scalp. We understand that cosmetic procedures can be a touchy subject, but in this day and age it seems strange that he would be embarrassed about such a common procedure. Infidelity. Chef Ramsay has been married to his wife Tana since 1996, and the pair have 4 children together. According to Ramsay, the pair are quite happy together, and he has even bragged about the more intimate details of their life together, which Tana did not appreciate. But then we have a woman named Sarah Simmons who claims to have had a 7-year-long affair with Gordon Ramsay. The famous chef admits stepping out on his marriage, but insists that he only met with Simmons about 4 times. That didn't stop Simmons from writing a book about infidelity entitled Having an Affair, a Handbook for the Other Woman. She decided to embrace her role as the other woman and revealed many TMI details about her relationship with Ramsay. Regardless of whether or not you believe Ramsay's version or Simmons, we think you will agree that the former mistress went a bit too far when she accused Ramsay's wife of faking a miscarriage for attention. This whole ugly mess has put Ramsay's family through a lot of pain and anguish, and the only one profiting is Simmons, who has raked in huge sums of money by telling her story. For a long time, there was an alleged feud between Gordon Ramsay and Food Network star Mario Batali. It was even said that Batali had banned Ramsay from his restaurants. Batali later claimed their spat was manufactured by the media and that he would love to hang out with Chef Ramsay. Before we shut it down, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Did this video change your opinion on Gordon Ramsay, or do you still love the way he yells? Tell us what you think in the comment section. See you next time!